The Pixel 7 is the best phone that's anywhere near this price range, and let me tell you why. Now, the Pixel 7 is one of those phones that not only looks great, but also performs very well despite being significantly cheaper than its very comparable counterparts. The Pixel 7 has an amazing software experience that is not only smooth, but gives a fresh meaning to the word smartphone. It has the best camera in its price range. It has a really great build quality that's made to last with slightly cheaper materials, and it gave me one of the cleanest Android experiences to date. And that is why I think it's amazing. And even though I do think it's amazing, there are some kinks in its armor that I wanted to note. Now, the battery life is above average and nothing spectacular, and it doesn't make up for its charging, which still takes me much longer than other phones. The Pixel 7 also has pretty low speakers. Usually I use my headphones when I'm listening to something on my phone, but whenever I want to show my friends something, I noticed that this is one of the lowest sounding phones out there. And the last problem that I had with the Pixel 7 is that the haptics were lacking for me. Like whenever I put my phone on vibrate, there were many times where I would miss notifications because the vibrations weren't that strong, especially whenever I had my phone in my pocket. I still would miss out on notifications, which was pretty disappointing. And even though I enjoyed my Pixel 7, I want to show you guys why it's such a great phone. This video is in partnership with Mint Mobile. Now, for the past couple of years, prices have gone up tremendously. Gas, rent, food, and everything else that is very essential to our everyday life. And since they are essential, many of us have no choice. You need a home, you need food, but what you don't need is an overpriced phone plan. And that's where Mint Mobile comes in. Now, you might already know Mint Mobile if you've seen those funny ads from Ryan Reynolds, who, fun fact, is also the owner, but I want to tell you guys just how awesome their service is. Now, Mint Mobile offers a premium phone plan for as low as $15 a month, and you don't have to sacrifice speed, coverage, or data. And most importantly, they're built on the nation's largest 5G network. They basically keep costs low because they sell directly to you online. They cut out all the retail stores and salespeople so that there's no unnecessary problems. So why would you pay more than you have to have access to the same network? And as someone who has just left Verizon Wireless, the switch to Mint Mobile was no problem since it gave me the exact same internet speeds while costing me much less, so there was no loss whatsoever. And I really felt like I was getting a better bang for my buck. And not only do I want to give you guys facts regarding Mint Mobile, but I want to actually show you how fast it is. And right here, you can see that I'm able to load up and watch a 4K YouTube video with no problem. Online gaming gave me 0 lags with no connectivity issues. And simple internet searches are extremely fast and are extremely similar to other top tier providers. Switching to Mint was also very easy. Thanks to their digital eSIM cards, you can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your home. No more standing around waiting in line at big wireless stores. You can keep your current device and phone number and easily switch services. Mint will ship you a new SIM card free of charge. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. Mint will also show you how much data you can use each month and recommend plans that save you money. Mint also offers a modern family plan that lets you set up a super affordable family plan with as little as 2 lines. And believe it or not, I was spending $84 for my Verizon Wireless plan, which is insanely high since my phone is paid off and I'm not financing anything, so Mint was a no-brainer. And you can use my link in the description to get a premium wireless plan starting at $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Nasim. So stop paying for more than you need to on your wireless bill and start saving big with Mint Mobile. Now, the Pixel 7 is not only a phone that looks great, but also performs very well and honestly is very comparable to many other top tier phones. Now, starting with design, the Pixel 7 looks the exact same as the Pixel 6, with the only difference being the camera bar, and I'm really happy that they kept the overall look. The phone looks the exact same as the Pixel 6 from the power button, volume rockers, all the way down to the speakers, USB-C port, and the back. But looking at its color, the version that I have is Obsidian, and this is by far my favorite color that's been released. It has the really premium size along with a glass back that gives it that right amount of depth and results in a really good looking device. Now, looking at display, the Pixel 7 has a 6.4-inch AMOLED display that, just like the Pixel 6, was very good. Whenever I was scrolling through my phone, it looked very nice, everything looked good, the responsiveness was very precise, and I had no complaints about the overall feel. But the only complaint that I did have was the 1080p resolution. But if I'm being honest, the phone is at a really good price, so it's kind of a nitpick. Now, looking at refresh rate, the Pixel 7 is at 90 Hz. Scrolling through the OS and many different apps felt as smooth as ever, and I was really happy that it was able to keep up after a long time of use. 90 Hz is also an added benefit for the fact that it'll result in better battery life. It feels much smoother than 60 Hz and doesn't feel too different from 120, so it's basically a sweet spot. Now, more into the display, the bezels are pretty small. Right here, you can see that they're wrapped nicely around the screen and are much cleaner overall. The hole punch camera is also very small, so it won't bother you whenever you're using your phone. Now, when it comes to brightness, the Pixel 7 is at 460 nits of manual brightness, which is basically below average for whenever you're using your phone outside. No matter how much the sun was shining, I really struggled to see what was going on, and it wasn't my favorite phone to use whenever I was outside. Now when it comes to the size of the Pixel 7, I can't say whether or not you will love it or hate it, but I do want to list some pros and cons that you can look out for. Now the pros of having a nicely sized screen is that the viewing experience is really good. The battery is bigger, so it'll be able to last longer, and bigger phones tend to have slightly better resolution. But the cons of having a big screen is that it makes it much harder to use with one hand. Trying to simply reach the top of the screen requires more work, and you'll need some pretty big pockets if you want to store your phone. But again, I want to let you guys outweigh the pros and cons because everyone's needs are different. Now coming back to display, the responsiveness still holds up really well, but something that I noticed is that my phone would get hot much more often and became unresponsive. And something that I noticed is that Pixels age very well whenever it comes to responsiveness and how the phone performs in terms of sleekness. But again, I was very appreciative that the Pixel 7 is holding up very well. Now the resolution and viewing experience of the Pixel 7's display is an amazing benefit. It was only 1080p, but doesn't really look bad in person. I was still able to see everything very clearly when watching videos. Playing games on it was as fun as ever. And I wanted to give you guys an idea of what it would look like when watching something and playing the game.
First and 10, now looking long. Down the field it goes, and it's right back to Valdez-Scantling on a completion.
Now the Pixel 7 has a 4300 mAh battery that is very comparable to the Pixel 6, but on a day-to-day basis, it really gave me the exact same results since I was able to last for most of the day. And mind you, I'm the type of person that is usually on my phone all day doing things like writing scripts, planning B-roll, shooting videos, scrolling through social media, watching YouTube videos, and texting my friends. And I'm usually getting over 6 hours of on-screen time a day, and I charge my phone twice a day, one time right before I go to bed and one time on my portable charger. And most of the time I did use it to the max, and it was still able to perform very well. So if you do get the 7, battery won't be an issue. And if I could give you guys a quick estimate, I would usually say that my battery is on 20% by the end of the day, which is really good. But again, this is with help since I use my portable charger. Now the last thing that I wanted to touch on when it came to battery was the charging. I usually use the 30-watt fast charger, and my phone charges from 0 to 100% in a little under an hour, which really isn't that bad. Now looking at software, the Pixel 7 supports Android 13, and just like on any other Android, you have the app drawer that holds and categorizes all your apps. You have the wallpaper system that is a huge upgrade and feels very smooth on this phone, and you have many more minor things that make the phone feel even sleeker. And just like on every other Google device, the sleekness was top tier. As many know, Google phones are typically very sharp whenever it comes to optimizing software, so I'm really not shocked at all when I say that this phone does a really great job when it comes to handling Android 13. The software was very smooth and worked very well. It felt just like the Pixel 7 Pro, and I feel like most of you guys will realize that in terms of software, it's really not that much different from other top tier Androids. I also decided to test out some games on the Pixel 7. I play Asphalt 9, which is a game that can really test out the chip. And as you can see, it held up very well, and I didn't really get any lags while playing. Now the haptics weren't that great if I'm being honest. There were many times where I would have my phone on vibrate, but would miss out on messages because I couldn't hear it. So overall, I would say that they're a downgrade from last year. And now the final thing that I wanted to note is that the Pixel 7 will be getting 5 years worth of software upgrades. So when it comes to longevity, it's pretty much got you covered. Now the Pixel 7 has some pretty low tier speakers that weren't loud whenever I used them. I would usually use them in the house whenever watching videos on social media or YouTube. And I basically would have to turn it all the way up because I had an issue hearing. I tested out how they sounded when playing music, and if I'm being honest, they're really not loud at all. And even when I turn it all the way up, the quality isn't the greatest. I also tested out the Pixel 7 as my alarm, and surprisingly I was waking up to it, but I really did have to set like 5 alarms because basically I really didn't trust 1, 2, or even 3 alarms since the volume was so low. And right here, I'm going to give you guys an idea of how the speakers sound.
Took a step or two there at the free throw line. Kobe back and drills the three.
Now the Pixel 7 has a 50 megapixel main camera along with a 8 megapixel telephoto and selfie camera, and based on my usage over the past couple of months, I will say that the pictures look amazing, but that's not surprising from Google. Starting with zoom modes, the Pixel 7 has a couple of different zoom modes, and right here you can see how good the quality is. Of course, whenever I went to ultra wide or zoom, the quality would get dumbed down a little bit, but I still feel like they were pretty good. The shutter speed has gotten much better, but there's still room for improvement. I decided to test this out by shooting a moving car, and as you can see right here, the camera was able to capture most cars no matter how fast they were going, so I was pretty satisfied. Now next up, I wanted to show you guys how the camera performed in different environments, and the first environment that I will be starting with is daytime. Now looking at the outside photos, we can see that they have a really great shadow depth of field whenever I'm taking pictures of myself, along with a nice blur, and this is scaled all the way up once I use portrait mode that Google has always been pretty good at. I also took some pictures of random street objects, the sky, and different aspects of nature, and I can honestly say that the Pixel 7 held up very well in these environments, and I'm really impressed. Now taking a look at inside photos, the Pixel 7 was able to capture everything very nice, and I found the pictures to be slightly more detailed than most phones in this price range, especially in terms of sharpness. Even when taking selfies, you can see how the camera handles already good lighting to produce an overall nicely taken photo. My skin tone looked really good, and the sharpness was at its peak. Now when it comes to shooting video, the Pixel 7 is easily one of the best phones that you can buy in this price range. You have many different modes and frame rates to choose from 720p all the way up until 4K, and as far as frame rate goes, you have 30 and 60. And if you guys like the movement in my videos, I basically shoot at 4K at 30, but if you want it to be a little bit smoother, you can also do 4K at 60. The video stabilization was out of this world. I usually shoot videos on my phone, so I know what a good camera looks like when shooting a subject, and with the Pixel 7, I can use everything handheld, and the movements are very smooth, which was very impressive. For fun, I decided to try the stabilization to the max by testing it out in the car, and I can honestly say that it was really good. There are better options out there, but you'll still be very satisfied. So all in all, I would definitely say that the Pixel 7 has a really good video camera that'll give you some consistently good shots. So if you're someone who wants to shoot content or you just want a solid camera, the Pixel 7 is definitely a great phone to buy. And also, here's some extra videos that I was able to get. So here's the final question. Is the Pixel 7 a good phone to buy? Well, in my experience, I think that the Pixel 7 is a great phone to buy. And not only because it holds up very well compared to other phones in this price range, but also because it has many things going for it despite being a cheaper price. Now the Pixel 7 is easily the best phone in this price range. It has a great software, good battery, amazing camera, and great optimization within the software, and I really think that you can't miss the mark with this one. Also, I want to mention again that it's a cheaper price while also being comparable to top tier flagship models. So again, for the price, you really can't beat it. And if you want to spend even less money, you can get the Pixel 6, which is a great alternative. But there it is, you guys, my review on the Pixel 7. And if you have any questions for me, you can ask them in the comment section down below.